What's up guys, and today I'm bringing you my operator analysis on Jackal. So starting off, Jackal actually has 3 primary weapons for his choosing, and the guns are the C78, which is an assault rifle, the PDW9, which is a submachine gun, and the ATA-12L, which is a pump action shotgun. So first, let's talk about the C78. This assault rifle so far has been my favorite assault rifle that has came out in this game. This assault rifle is really well balanced, it has good fire rate, good damage, and a good magazine size. Most of the assault rifles on the attacking side does have high recoil to it, but surprisingly it doesn't really have this issue with this gun. Even with the patches that added more recoil to this gun, it is still a very accurate gun, it's very stable, which makes it really good to get headshots. Now moving on to the PDW9. The PDW9 is a submachine gun, but it almost has the same stats as the C7E. The only real difference is that it has a lot less power, but it does have a 50 round magazine. Also, to me, I feel it has a lot more recoil than the C7E. Even though it does have a lot less damage than the C7E, it's actually still a pretty good submachine gun. That 50 round magazine does help you out a lot, especially if you're handling more than 2 enemies and you're the last person alive. Also, since it has a 50 round magazine, pre-firing can be done a lot more. Also, in a game all about headshots, this 50 round magazine could really help you out in a lot of situations. Now for the ATA-12L, this shotgun is pretty average to me. I don't really like it that much. For a pump action shotgun, this shotgun really isn't the greatest. It has a lot of kick to it, but it lacks a lot of power. It's not like the Supernova where it could take out an enemy in one shot. You actually have to be really close to your enemy in order for it to be really effective. And to me, it's not really worth carrying over the other 2 choices Jackal has. So I really suggest you guys avoid this shotgun and stick with the machine guns. Now for me, when it comes to picking between the C7E or the PDW9, I always go with the C7E because I am way more comfortable shooting with it than the PDW9. It doesn't mean that the PDW9 is not a great option. I use it sometimes when I'm playing as Jackal, but for my playstyle, I am way more accurate with the C7E. So for me, I always usually pick the C7E. And for both guns, I do run ACOG scopes most of the time with a vertical grip, but for the PDW9, it is not a bad idea to use a holographic sight. Now moving on to Jackal's sidearm, he has the choices between the USP40 or the ATA-12S. Since Jackal does have amazing primaries, I rarely see myself using the sidearms. For Jackal sidearm, I usually pick the ATA-12S, mainly because it is a really good close quarter gun. So the ATA-12S is really useful if you have to face a defender that has a shotgun of his own. If you are going to use the ATA-12S to kill an enemy, make sure you're really up close or rush them because that thing has no range to it, and that could really backfire on you. Now for Jackal's gadget, he has the choices between breach charges or stun grenades, and this really depends on what your team is carrying. If a lot of your teammates are carrying stun grenades, then you should bring a breach charge and vice versa. Also, since you're Jackal, you are going to be hunting down roamers, and you're going to be by yourself a lot of the times, so it's not a bad idea to bring stun grenades. Jackal's special ability is his Inox Model 3, which is basically a footprint tracker. So with this footprint tracker, you could actually see your enemy's footprints on the ground. The second a person steps on the ground, it leaves a footprint behind that lasts for about a minute and 30 seconds, give or take a couple seconds. Also, the color of the footprint also indicates how recent the footprint was left. Red indicates that the footprints were placed pretty recently, and blue indicates that it was left a long time ago. If you guys crouch on the floor, it actually leaves no footprints behind. When you're trying to scan a footprint, you could actually scan it pretty far away. It actually takes a couple seconds for the scan to happen, so you got to be really careful to make sure there's no enemies around the area. So once you actually scan your enemy, it actually shows you which enemy you scanned. So once you scan the footprints, it actually shows you which enemy you're scanning. It will then immediately ping your enemy. After that, a timer will happen showing you when the next ping will start. So Jackal actually pings the enemy a total of 4 times, lasting a total of 40 seconds. Keep in mind that the pings are not fully live, it is actually the last position the ping hit. And since it does notify your enemy that they're being tracked, most likely they're not going to be in that ping position. But it'll give you a really good general idea of where the enemy is hiding. Also, if you do want to scan another enemy, just look at the footprint tracks. If one of them is available to scan, most likely it is another enemy. So the biggest counter to Jackal is Caveira. Anytime she is in silent mode, she will not leave any footprints on the ground. And every time you play Jackal, you should check if the enemy team does have a Caveira. Because when you play Jackal, a lot of the times you are going to rely on the footprint tracker to make sure there's no roamers around. But if the enemy team does have a Caveira, you kind of got to negate that, because she could still be around the area without you even knowing. So now I'm going to be talking about the most efficient way to play Jackal. Since Jackal is equipped with that footprint tracker, his main role in the team is to hunt down roamers. Even though he does have that footprint tracker to give him an idea where the roamers are hiding, I do suggest hunting down those roamers with another teammate, because in most cases there are going to be more than one roamer, and if Jackal's the only one hunting down those 2 roamers, then he could easily be killed off. The best thing to do once you have a lock on an enemy is to have your teammate hold down an angle on the opposite side. That way, if the roamer starts running away, the roamer could easily get picked off by your teammate. Also, if you do get a ping on your enemy, I suggest not rushing them because most times they are going to hold a tight angle on you since they know you are tracking them. Instead, what you should do is actually blow holes with breaching charges, or if you don't have any, have a teammate like Buck to destroy the walls. That way the enemy is more exposed and can't really hide anymore. Also, if you do scan an enemy, most times they do go back to the objective. Also, if that does happen, I suggest you guys hold that rotation angle because a lot of times roamers will come back up once the scanning's over. And remember, once you track an enemy and you do see another scan footprint on the ground, there is another chance that a roamer is around you, so you really gotta watch out for that. So now guys, I'm gonna be going over some mistakes people make when they play Jackal. Starting off, the biggest mistake I see people make when they play Jackal is always having their visor on. I know this doesn't really seem like a big deal, but once you hit a mute jammer or an enemy is shooting at you, your vision does become really distorted, so it could really affect you in a gunfight. So it's a really good idea just to take that visor off once you're done using it. Now the second mistake on the list is hunting down roamers alone. I know a lot of people think that Jackal was meant to be played alone, but really he's most efficient when you have a teammate by your side. The main reason I say this is because a lot of the times you are going to be scanning your enemy, and when this happens they are going to start running, or they might turn for their teammate for help if they are roaming with them. But if you do have a teammate holding down a rotation point, this actually eliminates any problems you'll have with roamers, because once you have them tracked, you know exactly what room they are in, and if they try running out, your teammate could easily kill them. Finally, the last mistake on the list would have to be not knowing if there is a Caveira on the other team. So when I first played Jackal, I forgot that Caveira actually negates any footprint tracks that are left behind. So what would happen is that I would check out the area to see if there's any footprints around, and if I saw there was no footprints leaving or entering the room, then I would just assume that it was all clear. So I would enter the room, and then Caveira would either sneak up behind me or shoot me from an angle. And this kind of really messed me up in the beginning because I always relied on that footprint tracker. But eventually I learned not to rely on my footprint tracker if there is a Caveira around. So if you guys are playing Jackal, you should always look out for her on the defending side. Now I'm going to be rating Jackal on 3 things, which is loadout, gadget, and team efficiency. For Jackal's loadout, I'm going to have to give him a 9 out of 10. Overall, Jackal's loadout fits his role in the team pretty good. Both his submachine gun and his assault rifle work pretty well with him. They're both really accurate, have a good magazine size, especially the submachine gun. And his assault rifle is one of my favorite guns that got added into the game. I think it's probably the #1 balanced assault rifle. It has good damage, good magazine size, and a good rate of fire. Also, Jackal does get flashbangs and breaching charges, which work pretty well with him because his job is to hunt down roamers. And he does get a shotgun as a sidearm, which a lot of operators do not have. And really, the only reason he did not get a perfect score is because I'm not a big fan of his IDA 12L. I think that shotgun is not that strong. To me, it seems to be a definition of an average shotgun. And really, that's why I don't really play with that shotgun. I think Jackal has a lot better choices with his submachine gun and his assault rifle. And this is why overall, Jackal gets a 9 out of 10 for his loadout. Now for Jackal's gadget, I'm going to have to give him an 8 out of 10. So when Jackal's gadget first got revealed, a lot of people felt that he was going to be a little overpowered. But in reality, he's actually well balanced with his gadget. I mean, it does give you a ping of where your enemy is at the certain moment you scan, but it doesn't really give you an exact location. And I'm actually pretty glad that the gadget works this way because it's really well balanced, and it's pretty fair for both you and the opponent, especially since the enemy knows when they're getting scanned. But this is why the gadget gets an 8 out of 10 for me, is because it does help you out a lot, showing you the general area of your enemy, but the enemy could always constantly move, which kind of throws you off track, so sometimes the gadget doesn't really work out as you planned. This is just a small issue though. The gadget does really help you out overall hunting down those roamers, and that's why Jackal gets an 8 out of 10 for his gadget. Now for Jackal's team efficiency, I am going to give him an 8 out of 10. Overall, Jackal does really help out the team. Since he is equipped to hunt down roamers, it really helps out the attacking team because those are the biggest threats to them. So if you are playing Jackal, you could easily tell your teammates whether or not a roamer was around the area or is around the area. I know killing 1 or 2 roamers doesn't seem like a lot, but overall it does help out your team a lot because those roamers really waste your time, and if Jackal can make it a lot easier for you to hunt them down, that means that your team is going to have a lot more time to push. And this is why Jackal gets an 8 out of 10 for his team efficiency. Now rounding all 3 scores up, Jackal gets a 9 out of 10 for his overall score. Well, that's the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed watching, hit that like button. Also, I like hearing from you guys, so please leave a comment down below. And once again guys, thanks for watching.